Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to have a look at Elden Ring. Now, this is not a full review. Been playing it since it came out on Friday. I'm about 25 hours in, so today I'm going to give you my thoughts so far. Okay, so Elden Ring, it kind of starts pretty much like any other of the FromSoftware games. You know, obscure story, there's some artifact or there's some land that's mysterious, you're some kind of banished individual and you've got to acquire the objects via boss fights, via exploration, you know, the usual stuff that you'll forget within an hour. But after this, the game definitely does feel a lot different to the Dark Souls games, for example. Like as soon as you enter the open world, the first thing that strikes you is, one, it's very, very nice to look at. Two, it's massive. Now at first, it's not immediately obvious just how expansive and large the map is, but my word, I tell you, 25 hours in, I've barely scratched the surface. I mean, I've been exploring all over and there is so much in the game, there's so much richness and secrets and all sorts of interesting little things and places to find. Like you could play this through and never see half of it probably. And with the FromSoftware games, one thing that they've always been known for is their game worlds weren't necessarily big before, but they felt large because of the difficulty, because of the challenge. And here it's maybe a bit easier in the open world because you can get away, but you still have those tight caves, castles that are very tense, very edgy because you've got dangerous enemies, limited checkpoints, and it's you fighting between yourself and trying to get to those next checkpoints. But yeah, the way the game world is structured, I really love it. I think it's like a large scale labyrinth. Like there are places you can see in the distance, but you can't actually get there that easily. And the journey towards those places is part of the adventure. And that's one thing they've done really well. Open world games, there's always a danger with an open world that it's going to become a grind fest and just busy work. But here, the game world, it definitely feels alive because there's lots of things going on in it. There's not just you, there's other factions fighting, and because of the danger, just traveling through the open world makes it feel like an adventure. Few new things. Obviously now you've got a horse, that makes getting around a lot easier. Also getting out of trouble, that's really helpful. Stealth, you know, hasn't been a part of the Dark Souls franchise. Now with Elden Ring you can sneak and be a bit more stealthy. That's very helpful. Doesn't always work though, but you know, it definitely adds an element to the gameplay that they didn't have before. In terms of my character, I went for a knight, so all about, you know, metal armor, big sword, loads of strength, and you know, hope for the best. That's my strategy anyway. Boss fights, well, I've only done, I'd say, 2 of the kind of main story bosses. Not too bad. I wouldn't say they were unbelievable or memorable in terms of like being fantastic. Now there's lots of other little mini bosses in caves, catacombs, and there's so many places to explore. Again, it's very hard to comprehend just how much there is in this game unless you're playing it. I'd say weapons, lots of weapon variety. The armor, I mean, you can alter the armor appearance later on when you pick up a certain item, but it's not like other games where you can completely manipulate the colors, textures and stuff. Little bit disappointed with that. Saying that, on the flip side, very impressed with the character creation system. The face sculpting option is really good. Like I think you could, if you've got enough time and patience and reference material, you could make anybody's face in this game, no problem. The only issue I would say you'll have is the haircuts. They're all very Japanese game haircuts. Like if you wanted to make, let's say, a black character and you wanted to have hair that was suitable for that ethnicity, I think you're not going to have much luck. You know, it's go bald or go home type of situation, but they could always add to that. And yeah, my general impressions so far, I've really enjoyed exploring because it's such a vast world, and it's that kind of, there's always another place, like what's over there, and then you get embroiled in this sort of a mini adventure just trying to find out what there is. You know, there's dragons around, there's giants, there's the NPCs. Now, never really liked NPCs in the Dark Souls games because, one, I don't think they were well written, and I don't think they were well voice acted. This time round, that's completely different. But they're a lot more believable. The writing is more interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can't say the story is compelling. Like, I still am kind of a bit like, what exactly is the point? Like, what am I doing? But I'm enjoying the process of doing it. without necessarily caring about it. You know, it's that kind of, the experience overbears the narrative, because the narrative isn't the main part. It's really a combat game. I wouldn't call it a role-playing game. It has role-playing game elements, as in building your character and weapons and stuff, yes. But it doesn't have that branching narrative of, say, something like The Witcher or Skyrim, or games where you would call them a traditional role-playing game. But it's definitely an improvement. So yeah, I've been playing it for about 25 hours. My character, what am I, level 40? Nearly level 40 or something like that. Going well. When will the review come? Well, I don't know. It could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months. It just depends. I'm not rushing this one. I'm going to play it the same way you would play it. I'm glad I didn't get this one early, because I definitely would have tried to rush my way through it and I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I'm really enjoying it. Good impressions so far. I'm not going to give you any scoring ideas, but you know, so far, overwhelmingly, most of it's good. There are a few little things that I'm not keen on. Multiplayer's improved, but again, the system is overly complicated for no reason, and there's also some collision detection issues with jumping and the environment. It's not like you can hurdle things in the environment. Like if there's a log in front of you that's like 10 centimeters tall, you can't step over it. Or if you're jumping up platforms, you have this kind of floatiness if you don't land at the right point. That's very annoying when you're in combat. But you know, there's only little things, but I'll go into those in depth when I do the review. Okay, there you go. That's just a little insight into Elden Ring so far. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Any questions? Drop them in the comments. Please like the video, like and subscribe if you care to. But for now, this is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.